Hello everyone. I hope I am audible. All right, I am audible. Okay, so let's get started. So you're just done with the verbal part of the test. We shall be taking up the quantitative ability part. So if any of you have attended the session last week, so you would recall that what exactly did we do there? We discussed some of the previous year papers, and there were some questions which were in the IPM Rohtak, IPMAT Rohtak paper, which were based on what we have discussed. Like there were, I could see one or two questions based on that. So that way it was pretty helpful. Let's hope the same for this IPMAT Indore too. So let's get started. So this is the QA part, quantitative ability part. So in today's session, I have close to 15 questions for discussion. So towards the end of the session, I would also be, as was done in the case of verbal ability, would be giving you some tips with respect to quant part. So for example, sometimes even if someone has little bit of lesser knowledge, but the person has good strategy, less knowledge but good strategy, this might result in good result. Now I'm not trying to tell you that don't try to have good knowledge. If you will have great knowledge, good knowledge, it's even better. But even with average knowledge but with good strategy, you may do really well as far as the test is concerned. So from that point of view, the last minute tips I believe would be relevant, would be important. So we'll just continue with the session now. We'll start. So I'll be showing you questions one after the other. Now for each question, they're all independent questions here. For each question, I would be giving you close to 1 to 2 minutes. Try it out and then we shall discuss the question. So this is your very first question. Try it out and tell me the answer. So this is from your PNC. In case you have realized it already. Try it out, please. Okay. Okay, we've got a couple of answers. Very close, but Navya, I think you're right. Is the answer 10. Okay. We'll see. Let's get started. Let's discuss this problem. So the problem says there are 5 parallel lines on a plane. So suppose the parallel lines as follows. Second line, third, fourth, and fifth. There are 5 lines that we have like this. And there are n other lines which are perpendicular to this 5 parallel lines. So n lines suppose are like this. First line, second line, third line, fourth line, so on, nth line. N minus 1 and nth line like this. If the number of distinct rectangles formed by these lines is 360. Now, by the way, how do we form a rectangle here? So for forming a rectangle which is of this shape, we naturally need 2 horizontal lines and also we need 2 vertical lines, right? So whenever you select 2 horizontal lines, along with that you select 2 vertical lines, you will get one distinct rectangle. So here, how many horizontal lines are there? There are 5, the yellow ones. So in how many ways can we select 2 horizontal lines? So can I say number of ways of selecting 2 horizontal lines will be 5C2. Out of 5 you may select any 2. Along with this, as you select the horizontal lines, you must also select two vertical lines. Now, how many vertical lines do we have? We have n. You have to select any two. It could be done in NC2 ways. So thus the number of rectangles we may say is nothing but phi C2 into NC2, which is given to be as 360. Yes, this is what is the equation, correct? Now, what is phi C2? I hope we know the formula. The formula for NCR is n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial. That's the formula that we have. Now, if you apply the formula for phi C2, you would get the value as phi C2 is phi into 4 by 2 into 1. When you apply the formula, you'll get this kind of expression. Into NC2 is n into n minus 1 upon 2 into 1. This is equal to 360. When you solve this, 5 into 2 is 10. 10 will cancel out 36 times. Into 2 will make it n into n minus 1 equals 72. Now, think of two natural numbers which are consecutive. These two are consecutive, whose product is 72. Think of two consecutive numbers whose product is 72. Can we guess the numbers are 8 and 9? I'm talking about natural numbers, not just any integers, because even minus 8 into minus 9 will give you the same result, 72, but negative value is of course not allowed for n. So can I say by observation the two integers will be 8 and 9? So hence by direct comparison, can I say the value of n has to be 9? Or alternately, you solve it. How do we solve it? N square minus n minus 72 equal to 0. Factorize it, you will get n minus 9 into n plus 8 equal to 0. When you solve it, you will get n equal to 9 or minus 8. Of course, minus is not possible, so hence the value of n is 9. See, this is one point I would like to mention as one of the tips. We will of course be covering several other points later, but one of the tips is don't always go for the conventional approach. If you can solve a question by some unique approach, like maybe option elimination, or maybe substituting back the options, right, or maybe doing bit of guesswork and getting to the result, for example here, please go for that if there is a shorter one, because we are in class and school generally trained to do it this way, the conventional way. You should sometimes go away from it. I hope this question was clear. Sorry. Now let's move on to second question. Question number 2. Again, I'll give you around 1 to 2 minutes time. Try it out. Very good. Many people got the correct answer. Navya, Minisha, and Kanak. These are all old questions, actual IPM Indore questions, as you can see in the reference given under the question. So sometimes they tend to repeat the concepts or the questions also sometimes by changing the numbers here and there. So that way, just revisiting the old questions could be beneficial for the student. Okay, we'll start with this. Let us see how do we solve this. It is given that the sequence xn satisfies x1 equal to 0 and xn plus 1 is equal to xn plus 1 plus 2 into square root of 1 plus xn. So basically the series is like this. Observe, if you look at these two numbers together, if I put it as the previous number, right, or some k, xn is the previous number. So xn plus 1, if I put it as k, so can I say xn plus 1 is given to be as k plus 2 times root k, isn't it? That's how it is, right? If you know xn plus 1, sorry, if you know xn, you can very well find out xn plus 1 from this particular expression where k is xn plus 1. So here it is given to us that x1 is equal to 0. So let's do one thing. In this equation, substitute n equal to 1. Let's see what do we get. So if you substitute n equal to 1, what do we get? Xn plus 1, which will be 1 plus 1, 2, will be equal to x1 plus 1 plus 2 into root 1 plus x1. Now we know x1 is 0, so this will eventually become 0 plus 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 0, which is 1. So 1 plus 2 will become 3. So that means now I know x2 is 3. Now if x2 is 3, what can we say about x3 using the same equation? So if I put n equal to 2 here in this equation, see what happens. x2 plus 1, which is x3, will be equal to x2 plus 1 plus 2 into square root of 1 plus x2. So this is 3 plus 1, 4 plus 2 into 1 plus 3, which will be root 4. So this is also going to be 2. So 2 into 2, 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. Something like this. Next, let's go little direct now. x4 will be what? The previous number plus 1. So 9 plus 2 into square root of this 9. Isn't it? Xn plus 1 plus 2 into square root of the same xn plus 1. So this is going to give us what? This is 3 into 2, 6 plus 9, 15. Let's continue. What will be x5? Previous number plus 1 plus 2 into square root of previous number plus 1, 16, which will give us what? 2 into 4, 8. 8 plus 16 is 24. Now tell me, do you realize or observe something here? Is there a pattern that is generated? Do we have a pattern here? Please observe. I'll just try to highlight the pattern. You know that x1 is 0. That's given. x2 is 3. x3 is 8. x4 is 15. x5 is 24. Now if you look at it, all these numbers are very close to perfect squares. So basically these numbers plus 1 is a perfect square. 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 square, x2, 2 square. 8 plus 1 is 9, 3 square, x3, 3. 15 plus 1 is 16, 4 square, x4. 24 plus 1 is 25, 5 square. Right? So can we say, generalize and say, xn in general, by this observation, if we continue like this, we can also prove it. Xn is going to be, can I say, n square minus 1. x5 is 5 square minus 1. x4 is 4 square minus 1, so on. So xn will be n square minus 1. He's asking us for what? x31. Can we say x31 then will be nothing but 31 square minus 1. 31 square we should all know is 961. So hence the answer is 960. Okay. So the answer here is going to be 960. So some of you have got it right. Purva, Navya. I hope people who haven't got it right have understood why they have missed the answer. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Now the third question. So this is from your graphs area. So again around 1 to 2 minutes. Try it out. let us begin. Let's begin with this. So the question says the area enclosed by this particular inequation, which would of course translate to a graph here, is how much? So let's try to figure that out. So for figuring it out, let's do the following. Now this particular inequation has a modulus in it, in that particular inequation, as you can see, and modulus behaves differently based on whether the sign of the variable inside the mod is positive or negative. So for example, if x is negative, then this mod x will become minus x, right? And if x is non-negative, greater than or equal to 0, then mod x will become simply x. So let's focus on that. So can we say that particular inequation, if you take it in the first quadrant, quadrant 1, where both x and y are positive, so can I say the inequation will simply translate to in q1. So in q1, what will it become? It will be 2x plus 3y less than or equal to 6. First, let's try to plot the line 2x plus 3y equal to 6 before we plot this inequality. So when you plot 2x plus 3y equal to 6, what do we get here? So the x intercept will be obtained by putting y equal to 0, that's 3 comma 0, and y intercept will be obtained by putting x equal to 0, which is 0 comma 2. So this is the line that we have in the first quadrant, and we want this inequation. Now this particular inequation, can I say, so this line I feel see is dividing the quadrant 1 into two parts, the above part and the below part. Now here, should I take the above part or the below part will be decided by the origin test. Now what do you mean by origin test? I hope we know that. So substitute the origin in this inequality and see if it satisfies or not. So if you substitute origin, 2x plus 3y, 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0, 0 less than or equal to 6, it satisfies. Hence, it would be the below region, this region. So 2x plus 3y less than or equal to 6 would be represented by the shaded area, you can say. Now similarly, if you look at quadrant 2, what will happen in quadrant 2? In quadrant 2, your x is negative, y is positive. So that means this inequation will change as mod x will become minus x, mod y will become y. So here, how would this graph look now? So first let's consider the line again. So minus 2x plus 3y equals 6. So the x intercept will be obtained by putting y equal to 0. So x intercept is going to be minus 3 comma 0, and y intercept is going to be same, 0 comma 2. And similarly, when you apply the origin test, you shall get this below region. Now one may guess in the third quadrant, this inequation will be like this, and this region will be considered. See, once you get two of the regions, the other we can easily figure out. In the fourth quadrant, it would be like this. So it would be a closed polygon, all right? It's a quadrilateral actually, closed figure that we'll get finally. Now what is its area is asking us. So finding area of this particular quadrilateral, it's a rhombus, if you'll see. Can we say this triangle that I'm highlighting will be identical to this triangle, which in turn is identical to the third triangle and the fourth triangle. All are having equal areas. What will be area for this triangle? So can we say the area for this triangle will be base is 3, half into base into height is 2. So this is 0 comma 2. So this is area of one such triangle. We have 4 such triangles. So into 4. So when you solve this, 4 into 3, we'll get our answer as 12 square units. So the answer is going to be 12 square units. Similarly, we can decide what will happen to Q3, what will happen to Q4, and accordingly go on drawing the diagrams. All right, I hope we are clear with this. So for such questions, if you have something like A mod x plus B mod y less than or equal to C, suppose. So here, for what is the area enclosed by this region, if we ask you, there's a direct formula for this. The formula is, the required area is 2 into C square by A into B, of course inside the mod, to ensure that we never get a negative answer. So for example, if I apply the same formula here, A is 2, B is 3, and C is 6. So what will be the formula giving us? So this formula will be giving us 2 into C square by A into B. So when we solve this, 2 into 36 by 6, 6 will go 6 times. you'll get your answer as 12, the same answer that we got. So you can make note of this particular formula. If at all you see a question like this, you can save some time there. Or you could do half D1, D2, no problem, yes. Next one, question number 4. Try this out. 2 minutes. This one is a very interesting problem. So I hope you have, some of you have cracked it. Let us go for this. Let's see how do we solve this question. Okay. So this question says a new sequence is obtained from the sequence of positive integers 1, 2, 3, so on. Right. When he says positive integers, the sequence will be like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and so on, like this. This will continue. Now, all right, there was some technical glitch, so we are back now. So this is a series, and here just visualize what would happen if I remove all the perfect squares. Let's do that. So for example, right now I have 17 terms, right? And if you notice, right till 17, I have 4 perfect squares in between, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, and 4 square. As per the given question, if I delete all of them, what would happen? So I have to delete this, 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 and this. So that means if I'm counting till 17 or writing till 17, I would only write, please notice how many terms will I write? Actually till 17 you have 17 terms. Actually till 17 you have 17 terms, but how many terms are we actually writing? We are not writing all the 17 as per the given question. We are writing 4 less, right? Now why 4 less? Because we had 4 perfect squares which were less than or equal to 17. Likewise, imagine if I continue like this till 25. 18, 19, 20, 24, 25. Exactly 25. So ideally, if I want to write all the terms, I will write 25 terms, right, overall. But if I want to get away with all the perfect squares, then I should remove 25 also. So then how many terms will I write here? Of course, I'll not write 25. I would write 24. So hence the number of terms that I'll have here will be 20. 25 minus 5, 20. So this is how, by eliminating the perfect square when you're writing a new sequence, your terms would be determined accordingly. How many perfect squares are you removing? So based on that, you would decide how many terms will you be writing. Now in this particular question, he's asking us, if he's writing the series by deleting all the perfect squares, then what is going to be 20 second term? What is going to be 20 second terms? For example, here, what is going to be 13th term was the question. So how do I decide 13th term? So I need to realize, when you're going till 13, writing till 13, how many perfect squares will you eliminate? So probably you'll eliminate 1, 4, 9 also. 16 will I eliminate? Probably yes. Why? Because if I eliminate even 3, I should have gone till 16, 13 plus 3. So that means 16 will also be eliminated. So that means, so if I am asking you what will be 13th term of the sequence, I would get the answer by adding 4 to it. Understand? He's giving us 22nd term. He's asking us 2022 term, kya hai? What will it be? So imagine if I ask you what is going to be my 13th term. So my answer is not going to be 13, right? Because I would have got this term, 13 terms, after removing some perfect squares. How many perfect squares? 4 perfect squares. And hence can I say my answer, 13th term is going to be 17, we can say. Similarly, if I ask you what is going to be 20th term? What is going to be 20th term? If I write by removing all the perfect squares, so just calculate, I would have removed 1, 4, 9, 16 also. That means 4 perfect squares. So if I add 4, for example, so say if I tell you 24 would be the number that I'm looking at, clearly this would be wrong, because you would have removed 4 terms in between, right? 4 terms in between. What are those terms? So the terms are 1, 4, 9 and 16, and hence this number should go beyond 24. So that means I will not be eliminating 4 terms but 5 terms. I will be eliminating 5 terms, and hence my answer will be not 24 but 25, like this. Similarly, he's asking us what is going to be 22nd term. Now for that, I'm just cleaning all of this. For 22nd term, I need to realize how many perfect squares would I have cancelled out. So let's observe. So 22nd tak, how many perfect squares do we have? 1 square is there, 2 square is there, 3 square is there, 40 square, 1600 is there, 44 square, 1936, that is also there clearly. 45 square, 2025, that's very close. That will be there. That will be there because we have eliminated so many terms. So of course 22nd term will include 2025, will 2025 will also come. We will be eliminating that. So that will also be there. But what about 46 square? So if you go for 46, it's 2116. So this probably won't be there because almost 100 terms are there. The difference is almost 100. We don't have 100 perfect squares. So thus can I say here, for writing this 22nd term till 22nd term, I would have eliminated 45 perfect squares. And if I remove 45 perfect squares, what will be the number here? So my 22nd term will be nothing but 2022 plus how many perfect squares have we removed? 45, and hence the answer, the correct answer is 2067. I hope the logic is clear to us. We need to figure out, for writing this particular series till 2022 term, how many perfect squares are you getting rid of? So I'm saying in this case, till you're writing 22nd term, you're getting rid of 45 perfect squares. So hence the answer will be accordingly 2067. Moving on. Now try this out. 1 to 2 minutes again for this. The origin test. Okay. So sorry, Kanak. I hope you are there. I'll just quickly go back. I just saw your message. See, by origin test, what I was meaning was you have this inequality, right? Now, this inequality or this line was represented by this thing right here. So as you can see, this is dividing the quadrant into two parts. One is the below portion, other is the above portion. Which one should I take? For deciding which one should I take, we go for a test called as origin test, which is nothing but substitute the origin in this inequality. Substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and see if it satisfies. Okay, that is how we apply the origin test. 32 is correct, Purva. Let's go for this. Let's discuss this. So the product of the roots of the equation. So what is the equation that we have? Let me write it down clearly. Log of 2 to the power log x to base 2 the whole square to the base 2 minus 5 into log x to base 2 plus 6 equal to 0. So here let's do one thing. We know one property in logarithm that logarithm of a to the power m to base some b is nothing but this power will come before the logarithm, log a to base b, right? Let's do that. So here can I say log x to base 2 whole square will come before the logarithm, minus 5 into log x to base 2 plus 6 equals 0. And we know that log 2 to base 2 is going to be 1. We can eliminate that. So what are we left with? We're left with log x to base 2 the whole square. This is 1 anyways, minus 5 into log x to base 2 plus 6 equal to 0. Here if you want, you can put log x to base 2 as some k so that this converts into a regular quadratic equation. So if this will be k log x to base 2, so k square minus 5k plus 6. Now we can factorize this easily. So k will be equal to either 2 or it will be 3. So that means log x to base 2 will be either 2 or it will be 3. Now finding the values of x. So if log x to base 2 is 2, can I say the value of x will be 2 square 4? If log x to base 2 is 3, the value of x will be 2 cube, which is 8. And now he's asking us product of the roots of this equation. So basically product of these two. So thus can I say my answer 4 into 8 is going to be 32. All right. I hope we are clear. You can just keep taking the screenshots, or anyways this is being recorded, so no worries, you can always go back. Next question. So again I'll give you around 1 to 2 minutes for trying this out. Give this question a try. I'm just writing the given information, all right? I'm not starting with anything. Thirty seconds more, we'll start. Okay, So let's get started. So before I continue with this question, I would like to just help you remind that if you divide any number by suppose 8, then in that case the remainder that you may get can be either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 so until 7. So if the divisor is 8, the remainder can be maximum 7, right? It's always going to be less than the divisor, the remainder. Here likewise, this is what is given to us. We'll make use of it later, but look at this question. So there is some polynomial p of x. It is divided by this quadratic divisor, right? When you simplify, it's going to be x square term. So when you divide by quadratic divisor, can I say remainder cannot be quadratic? So at best, it may be linear. So that means my remainder here, I don't know what it is going to be. Suppose it is ax plus b, a linear term. A could be 0 or b could be 0. Now if this is the case, let's use the division rule. What does it say? Dividend is equal to divisor into some quotient plus remainder, which is ax plus b. Correct? Now please note, what would happen if I put x equal to 1 here? What would happen if I put x equal to 1 here? So if I put x equal to 1, I'll get p of 1. This entire thing will become 0, is going to be a plus b, right? Similarly, what will happen in this equation if I put x equal to 2? Suppose x equal to 2. What would that give me? P of 2 is going to be 0, will be equal to 2a plus b. So p of 1 is this much, p of 2 is this much. But where do we get the value of p of 1 and p of 2? That could be obtained from here. Please note the given information. Can I say, he says p of x when divided by x minus 1. So divisor is x minus 1. So dividend will be equal to divisor into some other quotient plus remainder. Correct? And similarly, second information, dividend will be equal to divisor into some third quotient. I'm writing it as q2 of x plus the remainder. Now please note, in this equation what will happen if I put x equal to 1? So p of 1 will be how much? This is 0, 0 plus 2, it will be 2. So that means p of 1 value is going to be 2. So can I write a plus b is 2? Similarly, in this equation substitute x equal to 2. What do we get? So p of 2 value, this is going to be 0 entirely, is going to be 1. So that means the second equation that we have, p of 2 is 1. So 2a plus b is 1. Now solve it. By simply subtracting it, we'll get the value of a as minus 1. And if a is minus 1, the value of b is going to be 3. And hence the question, what is the remainder when I divide the given polynomial by x minus 1 into x plus x minus 2? The remainder is going to be ax plus b. What is a? A is minus 1. So my answer, I'm writing it here, will be equal to minus x, a is minus 1, plus 3, b is 3. So that is 3 minus x. So I should be searching for this option, which is found in the second option choice. So option choice B will be the correct answer. I hope we are clear with the working. So we have made use of the division rule here, right? The properties of remainders or division rule here. I hope we are clear. Moving on. Now this is a very interesting problem. Give this question a try. So I'll give you around 2 to 3 minutes time for this because this could be time taking. This was just the last year question. So in fact, such an arrangement is called as magic square. So where sum of the elements along any row, any column, any diagonal is equal, such arrangement is called as magic square. So questions on magic square have appeared in the past also. So this is a recurring theme. Okay, I think we'll start now. Let's get started with this. Here he says this in this matrix, 3 by 3 matrix, such that sum of all the 3 elements along any row. So if I take this row or the second row or the third row or any column, if I take the first column or the second column or the third column, or any diagonal, if I take this diagonal or this diagonal, the sum he says is going to be same any way you calculate the sum. Then the value of determinant of this matrix is how much? What is going to be value of determinant? Okay, let's try to write it down again. So you have x1, you have x2, you have 7, you have y1, y2, y3. In second row, all are unknowns. In third row, lucky for us, there are 2 known quantities. So we know this. Okay, so this is a matrix that we have A. So in this matrix, suppose if I ask you, he says sum along any row or column or diagonal is same. Suppose that sum is some variable s. Let the sum be s. Let the sum be s. So can I say even z1 plus 8 plus 3 is s, y1 plus y2 plus y3 is s, everywhere it's going to be s. So can I write here z1 plus 8 plus 3 is 11. If I take the third row, is going to be s. That means z1 will be what? S minus 11 in terms of sum. It's going to be s minus 11, right? Now notice, where else do we get z1? Z1 can be obtained in the first column also. But first column will not be that helpful because you have 2 other unknown variables, but z1 also appears in this diagonal. So can I say along the diagonal also z1 plus y2 plus 7 is going to be s. So that means z1 will be equal to s minus 7 minus y2, or you can put y2 here only. Now you substitute what you know about z1. Z1 was what? S minus 11. So can I say s minus 11 plus y2 will be s minus 7. S can be cancelled out and you will know the value of y2 directly. Y2 will be 11 minus 7, 4. So I can replace this value by 4. So y2 is gone. Now we'll have 4. That's known. Now next notice, where do I get y2? What junction will I get y2? Focus on that junction. So I'll get the junction here, right? This plus sign, right? The middle row and the middle column. Focus on that. So if I take the middle column, so can I say 8 plus 4, 12 plus x2 is going to be s. So we can write x2 as what? S minus 12, just like we did here. Next, can we also write the first row here will be s. So x1 plus x2 plus 7 is going to be s again. So x2 will be equal to x2 plus x1 will be equal to s minus 7. But what is x2? We can write that s minus 12 plus x1 will be equal to s minus 7. S will cancel out yet again. So x1 will be equal to 12 minus 7, which is 5. So x1 will be 5 would mean this value is gone now. It is 5. Now the moment this is 5, please note we can actually calculate the value of s. What is sum of this diagonal? 5 plus 4 plus 3. Can I say this s turns out to be 12? If s is 12, can I say z1 will be 12 minus 11? So z1 is going to be 1. So this value will become 1. Okay. Also x2 was 12 minus 12. So can I say x2 is going to be 0? 0. Now we know that sum along any row or column or diagonal is going to be 12. So if this is 5 and 0, this should be 7, which is 7. All right. Next, if this is 7 and 3, 10. So y3 can I say should be 2 because the sum should be 12. Now only one element is missing, y1. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus y1 should be 12. So can I say y1 will be 6 again? So this way we can figure out all the values of the variable. So what is the matrix like now for us? So matrix is 5, 0, 7, the first row. Then you have 6, 4, 2. and then you have 183. So we need to find the determinant of this. See, it is better to find the determinant of the matrix along the row or column which has a 0 in it. So there is 1 0 in the first row. I'll continue with that. I'll calculate along the first row. So what is determinant of A? So it's going to be 5 into its cofactor, which is what? 4 into 3, 12, minus 8 into 2, 16. Minus 0. This will be negative 0. Anyway, 0 into anything is 0. Plus 7 into its cofactor, which is 6 into 8, 48, minus 4. So this is how much? This is minus 4 into 5, minus 20, 0, plus 7 into 44 is 308. 308 minus 20 will be 288, and this is going to be our answer. So that means there were two layers attached to this problem. One was finding out the values of the missing variables. Second was, after you do that, find the determinant. So the answer is 288. I hope you have followed this. Y2 is equal to 4, x1 is equal to, x1 is equal to 0? No, x2 is equal to 0. If you put x1 as 0, this diagonal will not have sum of 12, na? That is why. Next one, question number 8. You may try this again. Two minutes for this. Yeah. Yes, Kanak. This is a very long question. So definitely we'll talk about this in our last minute tips. We will talk about it, right? So in the exam, of course, it's not essential to answer all the questions, right? The cutoff is typically what? So roughly, I would say in the MCQ part, if you do like around 15 questions, that's a great job done. And likewise in the essay questions, even if you do like around 7-8 questions, that's a good job done. So of course, you can skip a few questions. Longer one, I will skip for sure. We'll talk about that. See, the reason I am taking up these questions here is because there is something to learn. So imagine you don't get the same problem, but a problem on magic square. So you should know how do we deal, because we have covered at least one example on that. Okay, let's go for this. Let's try this out. So it says a fruit seller had a certain number of apples, bananas, and oranges. We don't know the number. We'll have to assume some variables for that. At the start of the day, the number of bananas was 10 more than the number of apples. So whatever value I'll write here, I should write 10 more here. So this is 10 more. I'll simply write it this way. Plus 10. And the total number of bananas and apples was a multiple of 11. So this sum here is going to be a multiple of 11. She was able to sell 70% of the apples. Now, by the way, 70% means 7 by 10. 7 by 10. So that means the number of apples should be a multiple of 10 for sure. Because if it's not a multiple of 10, that 70% will not be an integer value. And generally in such questions, we deal with integer number of apples, right? Not half apple or 1/4 apple, only integer number. So hence, I would suggest we take the number of apples as some 10a. So if this is 10a, this is going to be 10a plus 10. 10 more. So now, if I talk about the sale, how much is sold? 70% of apples are sold. So 70% of this will be what? 7a. 60% of bananas are sold. 60% of this will be what? 6a plus 6. And 50% of oranges are sold during the day. So oranges suppose was R, some random value, or since he says 50%, let's take 2R, number of oranges. So this is 2R. How much are sold? 50%, half are sold. So R will remain. If she was able to sell 55% of the fruits she had at the start of the day, so that means this sum of fruits sold is 55% of the total number. Is 55% of the total number. Then she is asking us minimum number of oranges she had at the start of the day. So what is the minimum value of 2R? We have to figure out. So let's use this 55% information that we have. So total number of fruits sold is 7a plus 6a, 13a plus R plus 6. This is the number of fruits sold out of the total number of fruits, which is 20a plus 10 plus 2R. And this into 100 should be equal to 55. So taking 55 on the other side, 100 on the other side, will make it this. Now let's simplify. 5 will go 11s, 5 will go 20 times. We can cancel out a common factor. 2 will go 5 times, 10 times, 10 times. Now cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, we'll get some relation between A and R here. So 130A plus 10R plus 60 will be equal to 110A. This is 55 plus 11R. Bringing all terms on one side and taking the 60, or let's take this 2 on the other side and bring 55 on this side. 60 minus 55 will be 5. This is going to be 11R minus 10R is going to be R, right? And 110 minus 130A is 20A. So R minus 20A is going to be 5. So based on this, can we write the value of R will be equal to 20A plus 5. The value of R will be 20A plus 5. And what is my answer? Answer is 2R, please note. So my answer will be twice of this, means 40A plus 10. This is what our answer will be. Okay, so I want this answer to be minimum. So that means the value of A should be minimum possible, probably 1 or 2 or 0, all right, if it's allowed. Let's check. There's one more information that we have not explored so far, which was sum of these two, that is 10A plus 10A plus 10. I'll write on next slide. Number of apples, number of bananas should be a multiple of 10. So if you write it, 20A plus 10 should be a multiple of 10. I want the value of A to be minimum possible so that my answer is minimum possible. I want A to be minimum. So can A be 1? Substitute. So if I put A equal to 1, this is 30. 30 is not a multiple of 11. No. Can A be 2? No. A be 3? 20 into 3, 30, 60 plus 10, 70. No. 4 also no. 5 is possible. So from this equation, can I say the minimum value of A happens to be 5? So thus, going back, so I want my answer to be minimum. So it's going to be 40 into 5, the minimum value of A plus 10, which is going to be what? 210. So option choice C is going to be our answer. Now, it would be difficult to say the expected cutoff and all, because it would all depend on how students are performing, what is the difficulty level, right? Generally speaking, in the essay section, if you solve around 8 questions with good accuracy, 8 to 9 questions with good accuracy, we are almost cleared. And similarly, in the MCQ question, somewhere around 13 to 15 questions with good accuracy, we have cleared the cutoffs. We are sure to clear the cutoffs. Now, ninth one. Go for this. What is the answer for this? I'll give you probably 30 seconds because you'd have learned matrices, determinant in your 11th and 12th. Okay, I hope you're already done with this, right? So when you have a matrix like this, A, B, C, B, C, A, C, A, B, right? Now, when you find the determinant, what is going to be determinant of A? So I'll expand it along the first row, suppose. So it's going to be A into its cofactor, which is BC minus A square, minus B into BACB. We take this, right? B square minus AC plus C into, what is its cofactor? It is AB minus C square. Now expand, you will get minus A cube minus B cube minus C cube plus 3ABC. Take minus common. So A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus 3ABC. He says ABC are all integers and they are all greater than 0. What can we say here? Is it positive? Kanak? Okay, let's see. What can we say about this term? Let's observe. So A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus 3ABC is a well-known expression. It has a particular factorization available. You should know this. So A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus 3ABC is factorized as A plus B plus C into A square plus B square plus C square minus AB minus BC minus AC. This is the factorization. However, here I would like to write it, the second term, slightly differently. We can also rewrite this expression as, we can write it again as half of A minus B the whole square plus B minus C the whole square plus C minus A the whole square. You can just open up the brackets and see whether you get the same expression or not. You will get same expression. So how much is this exactly? Minus half will come outside. A plus B plus C into A minus B whole square plus B minus C whole square plus C minus A the whole square. Now A, B, C are all positive integers. So can I say this is definitely going to be positive? We don't know the value, but definitely positive. Now can I say this is also definitely going to be positive because A is greater than B. So A minus B is never going to be 0. So it's going to be a positive number. So positive number square and some other squares are definitely going to be positive. Half is anyways positive. So overall, can I say positive into positive into positive will become positive, but please note you have a negative in front. So thus overall product will become negative. So hence can I say this determinant of this matrix is going to be a negative value. So option choice C will be the correct answer. I hope we are clear. Try this out, 10th one. So this, I believe, will not be a long question. Just try it out. See what answer you get. So I give you around 2 minutes. This is arithmetic now. For example, this is one arithmetic question. This is from time, speed, distance topic. Okay, let's go for this question. Let's think about it and let's think logically, because this is an arithmetic question. Can we solve it with least calculations? Let's try to do that. In a 400-meter race, So length of the track is given to us, it's 400 meters. Ashok beats Bipin. Let's call Ashok by A, Bipin by B. Ashok beats Chandan by C, respectively by 15 seconds and 25 seconds. So that means 15 seconds after A reached the finish line, B reached the finish line, and 25 seconds after A reached the finish line, C reached the finish line. Hence, can I say B will beat C by 10 seconds. Again, after 15 seconds after A reached the finish line, B reached the, for example, suppose A reached the finish line in 10 seconds. So if A is 10, so B will reach in 15 seconds more. That means 25 seconds. If A is 10, C will reach in 25 seconds more. That means 35 seconds. So that means in the overall race, B is finishing in 25 seconds. C is coming 10 seconds later. Hence, can we conclude this? B beats C by 10 seconds. Now let's continue with the question. If Ashok beats Bipin by 150 meters, so Ashok beats Bipin. This information was already given, but this time it is given in distance. 150 meters. By how many meters does Bipin beat Chandan? B beats Chandan. By how many meters? See, had the question been in time, we already know the answer, 10 seconds. But the question is in meters, distance. Let's try to figure that out. How could we do it is, observe, A can beat B in 15 seconds, A beats B by 15 seconds, and A beats B by 150 meters. What does it mean? When A is at the finish line, B is 150 meters behind, right? That is what it means. Also, after A reaches the finish line, B will take 15 seconds more. So that means effectively combining the two, can I say for running 150 meters, B is going to take 15 seconds. So hence, can I say using these two informations together, can I write speed of B is going to be, B is going to run 150 meters in the final 15 seconds. So it's going to be 10 meters per second. So speed of B is going to be 10 meters per second. That further means what? That further means time taken by B for the race for 400 meters is going to be how much? Distance to be run by, can I say, what is the speed? 10 meters per second. So 40 seconds. So if B takes 40 seconds, can I say C will take 10 seconds more? So this further means time taken by C for the race is going to be 50 seconds. So that means C is able to run 400 meters in 50 seconds. That would mean what? Speed of C is 400 meters run in 50 seconds, which is 8 meters per second. So effectively, we know speed of B also. Based on that, we could calculate speed of C also. So let's continue on the next slide. Once you know speed of B and speed of C, can I say speed of B is to speed of C is nothing but 10:8, which is nothing but 5:4 when you simplify. What does it mean? This means the time in which B will run 5 meters, C will run only 4 meters. So can I say in a race which is 5 meter long, in a 5 meter long race, can I say B beats C by 1 meter? Because in 5 meter long race, the time in which B will cover 5 meters, C will cover 4 only. So he'll be behind by 1 meter. So B beats C by 1 meter, we can say. But here, please note the length of the track is 400. So that means it's 80 times. So thus, can I say similarly, in a 400 meter race, B will beat C by, this will also become 80 times. My answer is 80 meters. So the answer here for this question is going to be third option choice. Okay. I hope we are clear with this. Moving on. So this is how we could logically solve it without using a lot of equations and all. we could get to our answer by using simply ratio of numbers and all. Now, next question. I'll just give you a minute for this, see if you get the answer. Very good, correct answer. So in case you have solved such questions in the past, you would be able to think quickly. Otherwise, many people will be lost in thought as to what to do with that 95 factorial there. Let's go for this question. So 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 factorial, 5 factorial, and so on till 95 factorial. What are the values? 1, 2, 2 factorial, 3 factorial is 6, 4 factorial is 24, 5 factorial is 120, and so on. Now we are dividing this sum by 15. Now can we note, please note, 120 is divisible by 15. If 120 is divisible by 15, this will give me 0 remainder. And if 5 factorial itself will be divisible by 15, can I say 6 factorial will also be divisible? 7 factorial will also be divisible, because 7 factorial is what? 7 factorial is nothing but 7 into 6 into 5 factorial, isn't it? So if 5 factorial is divisible by 15, we can say 7 factorial will also be divisible by 15 naturally, right? So here all these numbers are going to give us 0 remainder. That's the point to be noted. See, the moment we realize that 95 factorial has no significance at all, now what are we left with? We are left with a small sum here. So 30 and 33. So this 33 will give us some remainder. What's the remainder? We can do it manually also. 15 goes twice and the remainder is going to be 3. A very, very direct question from your IPMAT Indore. Next question. Now try to look at this question, solve it. Very good, Purva. Yes, Devyansh. Absolutely correct, both of you. So this is a question which actually needs not a lot of solving, but understanding. So if you look at this question, it says consider an 8 by 8 chessboard. So let's take it up here. So this is a chessboard that we are talking about. Consider an 8 by 8 chessboard. The number of ways 8 rooks. So 8 pieces, suppose, all right, 8 pieces can be placed on this board such that no 2 rooks are in the same row or same column. No same row, no same column, right? In how many ways can we place these 8 pieces here? So firstly, please understand, I can place the first piece. For example, here I have this 8 by 8 chessboard which is available for me in its entirety, right? This is available for me. See the moment I take, for example, if I take the first row, suppose I can place that rook anywhere I want. So that means I can place it in 8 ways. I can place it here or here or here or here or here. I can start with any row for that matter. Just for the sake of discussion, I'm starting with the first row. So can I say the first piece can be placed in any of the rows in 8 ways? So first piece, I'll just write it in yellow. So the first piece can be placed in 8 ways. I hope you understand. We can place it anywhere. For the sake of discussion, suppose we have placed the rook here. See, the moment I place the rook here, can I say for the next piece, this particular column is gone? And similarly, this particular row is gone anyways. Row is gone because we are counting from row. This column is gone. So that means when I consider the second piece now, how many ways can I place it? For example, suppose for the sake of discussion again, I pick the second row. I want to place the second piece in the second row. I can place it anywhere I want. Second row. Here can I say I can place it anywhere but this place. So it can be placed now, can I say, in 7 ways. Going ahead in the same way, the third piece can be placed in 6 ways. The next fourth piece in 5 ways. The next piece in 4 ways. And this will continue till you have the last piece left, the 8th piece left, for which you'll have only 1 way. And we are supposed to multiply all these numbers naturally, because our task is placing all the 8 pieces, not one of the single pieces, not any single piece there, all the 8. So we'll place the first piece also, second piece also, and the last piece also. So we'll multiply here. So thus my answer is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 1, which is nothing but, can I say, 8 factorial. So option choice D is going to be the correct answer for this. Next, question number 13. So this is on trigonometry. Try it out. A minute for this. So there is arithmetic progression usage. There is of course trigonometry here. See what answer do we get. Okay, let's go for this. If the angles ABC of a triangle are in arithmetic progression such that sine of 2a plus b is half. So we know sine of what angle is half, right? So we know sine 30 is half. So can we conclude here 2a plus b must be 30 degree? That's one very direct conclusion that one may make, not looking at the other conditions. But please note, what does it say? ABC are in AP. So that means we know one property. Sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degree. If they are in AP, can I say sum of the other two terms, the first and third term, will be equal to twice of the middle term? That's the condition for AP. So here can we put A plus C as 2B. So B plus 2B is 3B equals 180 degree. So we'll get the value of B as 60 degree for sure. And see, the moment B is 60 degree, 2A plus B naturally cannot be 30. So then you need to think of some higher value. So what is the other value of sine, which will give us half as the value? So can I say the other value is naturally 150 degree. Sine 150 is same as sine 30, which is half. So B is given to be 60. So can I say 2A will be 150 minus 60 is 90. So A will be 45 degree. And if A is 45, B is 60, can I say C will be 75 degree. So once you know all the three angles, you can easily find the answer for the question is asking us. He's asking us sine of B plus 2C will be how much? So can I say this will be nothing but sine of B is how much? 60 plus 2 into C is 150. So this is sine of 210 degree. And please note 210 lies in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sine will be negative. And can we write this as sine of 2 into 90 plus theta, 30 degree. So sine of n into 90 plus theta, where n is even, is nothing but sine theta. I hope you know this. So sign, I'm sure you all know this, right? No need to write it. So this will be sine 30 with a minus sign, of course, because 210 falls in the third quadrant. So it's minus half. So option choice A is going to be our correct answer. Okay. Next is on again PNC. Try it out. See, after this, the last two questions are 15th and 16th are going to be somewhat challenging. So give those questions a decent try. The next two questions. This one maybe we can start with it. Last session also we have taken up a question like this, if you remember, in the IPMAT Rohtak and Indore, the previous week session. Let's go for this directly. The number of solutions of this equation. Where x1, x2, x3 are integers such that x1 is greater than or equal to 1. So can I say x1 minus 1 will be greater than or equal to 0? So if x1 minimum value is 1, for x1 minus 1 minimum value will become 0. Similarly, x2 greater than or equal to 2 means x2 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. x3, x4 anyways are greater than or equal to 0. So what do we do here is we are trying to bring everyone, each of the variable, to the same common denominator, greater than or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0, everywhere the same minimum value. For doing that, I need to subtract 1 on both sides to balance the equation. For x2, I need to subtract 2 on both sides. So what do we get here? x1 minus 1 plus x2 minus 2 plus x3 plus x4 is 47. So here x1 supposes x1 minus 1 is capital X1, x2 minus 2 is capital X2, x3 and x4 equal to 47. Now can I say for this equation I want whole number solutions, because x1 minus 1 that is x capital X1, x2 minus 2 that is capital X2, x3, x4 all are whole numbers greater than or equal to 0. So what's the number of whole number solutions? So number of whole number solutions is nothing but equal to, the formula is this value 47 plus number of variables minus 1, C number of variables minus 1. I hope you remember the formula. So x1, x2, if you have r variables equal to n, the number of whole number solutions is n plus r minus 1, C r minus 1. So this is how much? This is 50 C3. So how much is 50 C3? Let's calculate. So 50 into 49 into 48 by 6. 6 will go 8 times. 50 into 8 is 400. 400 into 49 will be 19,600. So option choice A is going to be the correct answer. I hope we are clear with this. Now the next question is interesting. Please look at this. So next question is on 2 slides. So this is the first slide. The following table shows the number of employees and their median ages in 8 companies located in a district. So there are 8 companies, for each company different number of employees, different median ages. It is known that the age of all the employees are integers. It is also known that age of every employee in A, so I'll write like this, age of every employee in A is strictly less than age of every employee in B. The age of every employee in B, this value is less than, strictly less than the age of every employee in C. And then he says so on. Age of every employee in G is strictly less than H. So we have 8 companies, A to H. For these 8 companies, the age of each employee in company A is less than age of each employee in company B, which is less than age of each employee in C, so until H. But nowhere he mentions the ages should be distinct. That's the key thing to note here. Distinct ages जरूरत नहीं है. हो सकता है they can be repeated ages, same age. The highest possible age of an employee of company A is what? So we want highest possible age of an employee of company A. So let's try to focus on that. Going back. So if you look at company A, we have 32 employees with the median age of 24. What do you mean by median? The middle values. Now in case of even number of employees, there will be two middle values. So two middle values probably would be like 24, 24. Or it could also be probably 23, 25. Right? But I'm taking 24, 24 case. So out of 32 employees, 2 employees are already taken care of. I'm left with 30 employees. 15 will be above them. 15 will be below them. 15 employees above, 15 employees below. The values will come something like this: 24, 24. This could be 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Any kind of numbers that we have here. Integer number values. So we can fill them up. No need to fill them up right now. Let's look at B. What's the situation for B? So if you look at B, the number of employees is 28. The median age is 30. So that means again 28 is even. So probably it will be like this. I'll take 30, 30 because I want to increase the age of employees of B as much as possible so that the possible age of employee of A can be increased. So I want to keep it 30 and 30, not 29 and 31. I don't want this. So again, out of 28, 2 people are already covered. So we're left with 26 people. So we'll have 13 people here. The other 13 here. Some values will come here. Some values less than or equal to 30. Some values greater than or equal to 30 will come here. And so on for the others. See, we need not even look at the others because the others are pretty high. 39, 45, 49, 54. They're pretty high, the other companies. Now focus only on A and B. I want age of any employee in A to be as high as possible, but it should not be, age of any employee should not be more than age of B, age of employee, any employee of B. In fact, it cannot be equal also. And we know for sure one of the employees of B will have 30 years of age. Some employee will have 30 years of age for sure. So that means in case of B, in case of A, none of the employees can have age of 30 also. It should be less than that. Now, can it be 29? Let's figure it out. So probably yes, I'll give everyone 24, last one 29. Here also, I'll give everyone 24. Still the median will be 24, no problem. The maximum possible age for any employee can be 29. See, what would have happened had I put here 29 and 31? Then also your median will be the middle value, which is 30. But in this case, you cannot even put 29 as age of A, any employee of A. You'll have to put maximum 28 then. But I want to maximize it, so hence I said, will not consider this case. So thus, what's the answer for this? So the maximum age of any employee of A, after we understand the question without lot of solving, will be 29. That's the correct answer. All right. Now, so this is the last question for our today's session before we move on to the last minute tips. Let's go for this. You try it out, please. I give you around 2 minutes for this question. Okay, let's go for this. If one of the lines given by this equation equal to 0 coincides with one of those given by this equation equal to 0, and the other lines represented by them are perpendicular, then a square plus b square is how much? So I'll just try to explain. This first equation that we have is actually a pair of lines. So they would be like this probably, like this line and this line. Now, for the second equation, the pair of lines represented by this are one of the lines will coincide, and the other line is going to be perpendicular to this, something like this. So it's going to be perpendicular to the other line. So that's what he says. So one of the line coincides and the other is perpendicular. Then what can we say about the value of a square plus b square? So let's try to understand the question, solve it out. I'm sure we know some basic stuff like if this is pair of lines, the pair of lines will be like, so general form of the line is ax plus by plus c equal to 0, and here clearly these are passing through the origin because this satisfies the origin. So it will be a1x plus b1y into a2x plus b2y. So these are the pair of lines represented by this first line. One of the lines is common, he said. So this is, let's suppose this is the line which is common. So here also it will be a1x plus b1y into. Now the second line that we have here is perpendicular to this line. So I ask you, what is equation of a line perpendicular to ax plus by plus c equal to 0? So equation of a line perpendicular to this line will be given as bx minus ay plus k equal to 0. But if I ask you equation of a line perpendicular to this and passing through origin, this k will vanish. Now here, of course, the second line that we have, that will be passing through origin again, because this also satisfies the origin. So both the lines should pass through the origin. So what is the equation of a line which is perpendicular to this? It will be bx, so here b is b2, minus ay, so a2y. So this is the equation of the second line. So that means the first equation is represented by these two lines, the second is represented by these two lines. Then what is the value of a square plus b square? We have to figure out. Let's proceed. Let's open up the brackets in the first equation and compare the corresponding terms. So when I do that, what do we get here on the first equation? So here we'll get 2x square plus axy plus 3y square will be equal to what? When you open the brackets, it's a1 a2 x square plus a1 b2 plus a2 b1 into xy plus b1 b2 y square. Now do the direct comparison. Can I say a1 a2 should be equal to 2, right? And also b1 b2 should be equal to 3. And here can I say a1 b2 plus a2 b1, the coefficient of xy should be equal to a. Okay, this is by direct comparison of the corresponding terms. Similarly, in case of second equation, let's observe what happens. When you open up this brackets, you'll get a1 b2 x square, okay, then b1 b2 minus a1 a2 into xy. Please note a1 a2 will have a minus sign, b1 b2 xy will not have a minus sign, minus b1 a2 y square. Now again by direct comparison, here can I say a1 b2 is going to be 2, also a2 b1 that's going to be 3, minus and minus will cancel out, and finally in the middle term we'll have b1 b2 minus a1 a2 will be equal to b. Okay, so we want to find a square plus b square, right? So this square plus this square, let's calculate. What will that be? So a square plus b square will turn out to be, this is b1 b2 square, all right, or can I write it like this? I'll write whole square simply, plus a1 a2 whole square minus 2 b1 b2 a1 a2. That is your b square value. That is your b square value. Similarly, a square will be what? a1 b2 whole square a2 b1 whole square plus 2a1 a2 b1 b2. And if you notice, minus 2a1 a2 b1 b2 plus 2 1 a2 b1 b2 will cancel out. So I'm finally left with this, and these values, where do we get it? So b1 b2, if you will see, you get it here, 3 square. a1 a2, you'll get it here, it's 2 square. a1 b2, you get it here, 2 square, and a2 b1 is 3 square. So finally your answer, 3 square is 9, 9 into 2 is 18, 2 square is 4, 4 into 2 is 8. So finally my answer will look like 26. Very, very long and of course difficult question to solve in an exam condition, right? So it won't be possible for many students to attempt this, but again, the idea of taking it up here is so that we learn how to do it. I'm not asking you to solve it in the test. So with this, we are done with the questions as such. Now we shall look at some last minute tips quickly. So I just have some 4-5 points to share with you. See, as far as quantitative ability is concerned, one of the most important things that you must do before you go for the test, right? In fact, till the last day before the test, say you have your test tomorrow, so today till evening you should be doing it, which is definitely you need to revise. So revision is something that you cannot skip, you cannot leave assuming that you're okay with the concepts, because if you do not revise well before the test, now in the test you will come across a question which will be making use of some of the numbers formula. If you don't recall that formula, either you will take very long or you won't be able to solve it. So thus revision definitely helps. My advice to all would be, this is one of the key factors in your overall success. So definitely don't miss out on this. This is one small advice that I have. You still have a couple of days before your test, so please ensure you do that. Also, when you're revising, when you're learning something new, however, I advise not to learn something new at this stage of preparation, but still when you're revising, ensure that you revise everything. So don't have favorites. Okay, for example, okay, in the past year, IPM Indore, there was no question of PNC. Suppose I will not study PNC. Don't have such thoughts, because that composition of question may very well change, and IPM has large number of quant questions. So some 40-45 questions, that is what we have. So you will definitely get good number of questions from almost all the areas. So it's definitely a good idea on focusing on all the areas. Remember, it's a time test. So you have only 2 hours to take up the questions that you have in front of you. And also you have the sectional time. So that means when you're in that essay part or you're in the MCQ part, you need to perform to the best possible levels in those 40 minutes. Now, if you have to perform to the best possible levels, one of the key things that you should try to do is, please understand, for example, if I talk about MCQ, there are 30 questions. Now, as I was saying during the session somewhere, looking at the test historically, we can say somewhere around 13 to 14 is a good attempt. So that means if you get 13 to 14 questions right, of course, I'm assuming some extra questions which may go wrong, 13 to 14 right, that basically is a good attempt. So that further means what? You're leaving away another 10 to 14 questions, right? Around 10-15 questions you're leaving away. So that means when I'm saying it's a time test, so manage your time well, what I'm referring to is, don't waste a lot of time on a question coming from your favorite area. Now, since it's from favorite area, I don't want to leave it, because I'm sure that I'll get the answer. Now, even if you're sure, but it's going to take some time, please stay away. Of course, low-lying fruits first. All right. When you're going through the questions, don't go in order. I hope you'll not do that. Go for the questions that you think you can cover easily. Right. Easier questions first. Sectional time limit, I was talking about this. So since there is sectional time limit, you need to know some details about the test. Okay, when do I say tell myself that I've done okay? So the parameter is basically this: 50% of the questions. So if you have reached almost 50% of the questions, for example, in your essay, you have 15 questions. So say you have solved somewhere around 8 questions correctly, you think you solved correctly, you have done decently well. Similarly here, somewhere around 15, you have done decently well. But for verbal, it would be a different game entirely, because questions there are relatively easy. You can attempt them pretty much faster than the quant section. So over there, it would be a different game for these two quant sections. So roughly it's like 50%. So you need to know the test so as to decide how much time, how much energy, efforts are you going to spend on a particular question. Remember, there will be sectional cutoffs. So that means if I miss out on even one single section, if I don't do well in that, my entire prospects of admission and all will be impacted on account of that. Please go in with a solid strategy. Don't go in with a blank slate, I would say. So have something in mind. Okay, I have these 2-3 things in mind. So if the paper turns out to be a difficult paper, then I'll do this. If it turns out to be an easy paper, I'll try to do it like this. I will go for all the questions all at once, or I'll scan them first. I'll go for the questions in the order of difficulty. For example, if I see a question is difficult, I'll leave it. I'll go for the. So what strategy are you going with? So please develop that strategy in the next couple of days. Also, you can take some mocks too for that, to check which strategy will help you. That's it. Okay. So these are some of the points that I wanted to share with all of you. So now that the session is over, I would like to end it by thanking all of you and also wishing you good luck in your paper on the Monday. So we will be again catching up on Monday. All right, we'll be coming back with the analysis of that particular paper. So please do come back. Do well, right? Do well. All the very best, guys. All right. Thank you.